Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'd like to talk about the Islamic punishment of cutting off hands, which is quoted out of context. If you go to chapter 5, verse 38 of the Holy Quran, chapter 5, verse 38, it specifically says, and I quote, "As to the thief, male or female, cut off his or her hands, a punishment by way of example from Allah for their crime, and Allah is exalted in power, full of wisdom." Verse 39, "But if the thief repents after his crime and amends his conduct, Allah turns to him in forgiveness, for Allah is all-forgiving, most merciful." Verse 40, "Don't you know not that Allah alone belongs the dominion, to Allah alone belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. He punishes whom He pleases, and He forgiveth whom He pleases, and Allah has power over all things." Now, chapter 5, verse 38, there's a footnote. So you go to the bottom of the page, and it says, "Here we touch upon Islamic jurisprudence. The canon law jurists are not unanimous as to the value of the property stolen, which would involve the penalty of the cutting of the hand, of one of the hands. The majority of the scholars hold that petty thefts, minor thefts, something of small value, are exempt from this punishment. The general opinion is that only one hand should be cut off for the first theft, on the principle that, in quotation, where the Bible, the Holy Bible says, 'If thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off, and cast them from thee.'" That's from the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 18, verse 8. Apparently, in the day of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, thieves, people who were thieves, were crucified. You can find this in the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 27, verse 38. So, do you see how when you quote a verse in context rather than out of context, do you see the difference in the meaning it gives it? That's number one. Number two, if this still does not suit your taste of what God is saying, well, my next question is, according to the American statistics, in the United States alone, there's a theft or robbery taking place every 4.5 seconds. Every 4.5 seconds, there's some type of theft or robbery taking place. So do you want to see that, first of all, is that a minor problem or major? If one is happening every 4.5 seconds, that's a massive problem. Would you like to see it increase, stay neutral, or decrease? As Brother Sheikh Zakir Naik said, common sense, we'd all like to see it go away permanently, theft and robbery. So if you applied the Islamic punishment, which is stealing something of major value, if you applied Islamic punishment, cutting off of one's hand, would theft increase, decrease, or remain neutral? Common sense would have you reason and say it would decrease dramatically if people's hands were cut off for stealing something. So if theft would decrease dramatically, then what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Assalamu alaikum.